Hey everyone, welcome back to your week ahead astrology breakdown. I'm Matthew Oliver with Stillwater Alchemy, and this week, not much is changing in the cosmos per se. We have Venus transiting into Scorpio, but we also have some really nice transits along the way. So before we get into that, let's talk about some announcements. So, number one, for the rest of the month, my books are open on Stillwater Alchemy's website. So, if you want to book in for a one-on-one reading, you can do so there. Number two, we still have the Sagittarius season giveaway. So, thank you all who already donated, sent me your receipts. We love to see it. For the rest of you, if you would like a reminder for this giveaway, if you donate $50 to any charity of your choice, so $50 of your local currency, you'll be entered in to win one of three prizes, either one of two 30-minute tarot readings or a 60-minute reading of your choice, whether that be tarot, coaching, astrology, whatever you'd like. So that giveaway is going until Sagittarius season. I will be drawing the winner at the end of Sagittarius season. So it could also make a great gift for yourself, for someone else, especially as we plan ahead for 2024. Now, my third announcement, I do this service, and I've talked about it a little bit before, but it's becoming more and more popular with my close clients in terms of beauty elections. So what I do is I look the entire year ahead, and whatever, if it's Botox, filler, if you're wanting more intensive surgeries or procedures, I will look at your individual chart with the transits that are going on to give you the exact date, the exact time on how and when to get this done, especially because there are many things you can look at to amplify the success of the beauty election or just to diminish any potential downsides or even just downtime and healing and swelling and bruising. Because I've had friends and clients just go in and maybe received not ideal results. For example, like getting Botox during an eclipse. And I had a friend once who did that, and she had really unfortunate results, even though the practitioner was amazing, all the rest of it. So once you know, you know. I also have a lot of clients in the beauty industry, and even knowing when are peak times, when are advantageous to get these things done would be good for promotion services and to let others know in that regard. So if you're curious about that, let me know. We can get that sorted. And finally, my one question readings are now available as well. So if you just have one beauty election or any question that you would like answered, you can find that service reopened on Stillwater Alchemy's website. Okay. So moving on to the greatest victory of the week. I wasn't sure if I want to share this story, but then I thought it's Sagittarius season. Let's share the story. So that Gemini full moon for me was really intense. Gemini rules my sixth whole sign house, which has to do with physical health. And the ruler of the sixth is also my Time Lord this year, which is Mercury. And Mercury was not doing too well during that full moon. It was in aspect to Mars. It was squaring Neptune. So that night on Sunday, I slept like between 2:30 and 8:30 in the afternoon. I just fell asleep and didn't wake up. Neptune. And then when I woke up, I had a really bad headache. And then the next day, I went for a date in LA. And it went really well. We walked around and then we went for dinner after. It was like one of those dates that just extended into the evening. We went to some fancy hotel. I can't remember the name. It's like where famous musicians go and their agents, Sunset something. Anyways, it was really nice. Then I started getting like whole body like chills when we were walking out the hotel. I was like shivering. This comes to a victor, I promise. And so we go back to his place. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so like, "Do you want to lie down?" And so my whole body was like ice cold. And then an hour later, it turned into a furnace. I was so hot. I was like, "Oh no, this is not good." And I was confused as to what it was because I eat well, take care of myself, all the rest of it. And that Mercury square Neptune, I was like, "Oh, who knows? I'll probably take a couple days before I find this out." And then later I found out that an establishment that I ate at is known for food poisoning, especially from their beef, because in America, they only cook their beef all the way. So I was going through a lot of that. The victory was that this guy was super warm, super welcoming. He's a Leo. Leo's definitely went up a couple notches due to this whole experience. Like he was just so kind and wasn't like, I just met him. He's like, yeah, just take like lie down. It's okay. Do you want some water? So just receiving that benevolence on a first date and like no funny business, just kind heartedness and taking care of me in a very sensitive, vulnerable state of my whole body just convulsing and going through hot and cold was really nice to experience that, to know that no matter what, like there are amazing guys out there, kind, warm, and will help you in moments of need. And that just helped me to reiterate the point that everyone always wants to support you. Everyone loves you. If you so choose to have that belief, it will be there. Now, no one per se sent like a DM, email, or a comment on YouTube about their greatest victory. But from my client's perspective, something I saw across the board with that Gemini full moon is rest is a victory. One more time, rest is a victory. We are able to take the rest. If you were on a trip and your friend was like, oh, I'm hungry, you would go find somewhere to eat. If your body is saying, I am tired, why is it not the same reaction? Why would you not just go take a nap? Why would you not just go lie down? Having that revelation or honoring the rest, making sure that your body is healthy and strong to receive the pleasure, the recognition, the success that you're chasing or that you're desiring is just as valuable. Remember, we're finished off Venus and Libra. Even at the start of the week, we're still in it for a couple hours. So we want to balance these energies out. We want to balance the masculine and the feminine energies so that we can move forward in all of our relationships, including the relationship with ourselves, to be the most optimal. Okay. With that being said, I think that's a beautiful time to move into the week ahead. So we are at Monday, December 4th, 9 a.m. So as you can see, we still have Venus in Libra in those final minutes in about 2 hours. So 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, she'll move into Scorpio. So I'm going to talk about that now because Venus in Scorpio is definitely a different flavor. It's going to be going deeper in many ways. And some of you will enjoy that more than others, because with this, it's not about superfluous connections. It's really about getting to know yourself and going to know others a lot deeper. I am curious as well, because when Venus enters Scorpio, she's going to be receiving that mutual reception to Jupiter in Taurus, given that Venus rules over Taurus. So I was thinking that this could be a spike in intimacy, in pleasure, in sex, tantric sex. Like if you already have a great sex life with your partner or in general, this might allow you to go even deeper emotionally, sexually, psychologically in that connection, or even just noting what you want in terms of that intimacy and connection in your relationships or in the houses that are ruled by Scorpio and Taurus. So reevaluating that, reevaluating your relationships. It could also be great healing, just because Scorpio is often seen as a very sexual, transformative sign. With that mutual receptive opposition to Jupiter, there could be someone that you meet or an educational resource or a spiritual resource that is going to help you heal parts of yourself. So it might not be the physical pleasure that is going to be manifesting with this Venus and Scorpio opposing Jupiter this week, but more of an emotional pleasure through the healing that is going to be received. So being open to that. And of course, if you have dominant water sign energy in your chart, so Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, this will naturally increase the pleasure or opportunities for pleasure in your life. Now, with this, we also have this beautiful Grand Earth Trine between the moon in Virgo, Mercury in Capricorn, and Jupiter in Taurus. So Grand Earth Trines, this is going to amplify Earth energy. There could be great correspondence, great communication, great opportunities. You might have this sudden inspiration or urge just to get a lot of work done, send out a lot of emails, applications, marketing, whatever that is. This is a good time to shoot your shot, so to speak. I also feel like whenever we have prominent energy through Virgo, especially the moon, it's getting your life together, cleaning things up. It might also feel like all these pending or final things that you've needed to get done just flow through with ease. And it's nice too, because the moon is leaving that opposition to Saturn. So Monday is quite a strong day, especially given that Monday is the moon's day. She has such nice aspects to Mercury and Jupiter. Please use Monday to your advantage to get as much as you desire done. And this energy also goes into Tuesday, because on Tuesday, it's almost like we're getting another Grand Earth Trine. It's a very wide, but it's still prevalent because we like to use a 10 to 12 degree orb for the moon. So we have the moon trine Uranus, moon trine Pluto. This is also quite nice because there could be this dynamic revelation. There could be a shift in energy. There could be a shift in power that you've been wanting. Now, we can also see the moon making that opposition to Neptune. So we want to make this grounded in realism. Neptune can sometimes sway our course. It can dissolve boundaries. It can also dissolve what seems like time. We know that time isn't real per se. It could also be like that mindset of when you're having fun, time flies. So be aware of how you're spending your time. Extra grounding is going to be beneficial. And even just being outside, hello, Grand Earth Trine, Moon in Virgo, taking time to be mindful when you're eating food. That can also help you break out of illusions. Or if you feel like you're cycling in your head about something, and it could be about a dream, right? Because we have that Neptune in Pisces opposing the moon, just maybe having a glass of water, or maybe just cutting up an apple and eating that apple and just enjoying that apple to see what shifts in your body. I would just highly recommend, because Tuesday's also a productive day, but Tuesday seems like a shift of power or some kind of dynamic for the better. And it's a way for you to get closer to your dream while breaking through some type of story or illusion or dynamic or even relationship. Now that Venus is fully in Scorpio, she's already grounded herself there. There might be something where like, oh, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I need. We also have the moon making these squares to Mars and the sun. She was also doing that yesterday, but that benevolence with the Grand Earth Trine was there too. So just noting as well, this almost feels a little bit like short-term gratification versus long-term rewards. So there might be temptation with this moon opposing Neptune, moon coming off that square to the sun and Mars to just get things done quickly versus really going deeper, really understanding the power of what you're doing to cultivate long-term results, or being able to shift and pivot to help you exponentially. So just be aware of distractions that could be taking away from your dream versus where you can go deeper to understand yourself or your project or relationship on a much greater level, which is going to help you significantly over the long term in your goals, but also in who you are as a soul. I know we're going a bit deep, but hello, Venus and Scorpio. We started off with her, so it makes sense that she's influencing us here. Also, midpoint reminder, Mercury is slowing down, right? It's going to be stationing retrograde next week. So if you find that you're rushing, and that's again what we talked about with the moon square Mars, taking time to slow down your mind. There's no rush. This even goes back to what I was talking about with rest. If you find yourself going and going and going and not listening to these external and internal cues, it might feel like you have to do things multiple times or things aren't working. If things aren't working, take time to pause, take time to rest, take time to put it down and come back later. That is going to help. All right. Now, Wednesday, we have the moon in Libra making that square to Mercury. And this is also might be a day where you're like, why aren't things working? Why aren't things clicking? And that's okay. It can also be a way of, can I communicate in a different way? Can I communicate in a different way with myself, with others to create a better result? Because we do have the moon making these sextiles to Mars and the sun. So it's likely that change needs to happen, right? Both Libra and Capricorn are cardinal signs. So if you can shift things, there is likely to be a more pleasurable result or something that can happen faster. So just be mindful that if you're feeling like things are unbalanced or that you're frustrated or things aren't working, what needs to change in terms of the wording or even just how you're thinking about something to create an action that can move forward. So don't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Initiating new thoughts and new words will lead to greater action. Thursday. So Thursday, we have the moon opposing Chiron. And now we have this immediate sextile to the sun. So this could also be too, where am I giving away my energy? Where am I giving away my time and power, right? That opposition to Chiron in Aries. You can also be asking yourself too, am I not making myself front and center? Am I not even enjoying what I'm doing? Because we still have the moon in aspect to that square with Mercury, even though she's separating. So this is a time to ask yourself, not only are things balanced, and this is nice too, because the moon is going over the territory that Venus just went through over the past 3, 4 weeks. So asking yourself, what did I learn during that transit? What did I learn during the month of November? Are there still things that I need to release? Are there still things that are unbalanced that I need to let go to make space for me and the new identity that I'm carving, right? Because we do have the moon in aspect to the self node. So Thursday and Friday might feel turbulent or might feel like you're shifting a lot because you're shifting and releasing something that was never balanced or that you now know full-heartedly isn't balanced. And it's nice too, because now we have Venus within that 3-degree opposition to Jupiter. It's likely that you're going to feel this very, very strongly. And there is a lot of opportunity to get in your head, right? Moon square Mercury. But I implore you to feel. If you can feel Thursday and Friday, it's going to help you understand and to release an expectation, a relationship, a mindset that is no longer aligned. And we see that as well on Friday, right? This direct conjunction with the South Node. Something as well I feel like doesn't get talked about enough with the South Node is a removal of boundaries. So yes, it can be release, purging. People talk about a tower-esque energy kind of linked with the South Node, but removal of obstacles. What is being removed for you to be happier? What is being removed to allow you to gain greater intimacy? And we do see the moon making that square to Pluto. So if you remember as well, just this weekend, so what, December 2nd and 3rd, we had Venus in Libra making the square to Pluto. And now we have this similar energy with the moon in Libra squaring Pluto. So it's almost like if you didn't fully embody that Venus Pluto square, the moon is coming back one final time to give you either a dessert to bless you, being like you made the right decision, see what's going on, or it's another opportunity for you to get it right, kind of like the Judgment tarot card. So this is just something to be aware of with the energy of Friday, that there might be a power dynamic or an emotional connection that needs to be reevaluated or released to make space for something better, for something greater. Now, the weekend, we are in the dark moon phase, and we have the moon conjunct Venus and aspect to Venus all weekend. And we also see, too, the moon in strong aspect to Saturn and then Neptune. So this is really all about going inward. You might want to be a bit more reclusive. This also could be like an enjoyable solitude type weekend where you don't want to be around a lot of people. This can also be a very witchy like weekend. What I mean by that is doing spells, rituals, clearing, cleansing, protecting, really going deeper with whatever brings you pleasure, potentially on a single level. Also, it might be a powerful dynamic for sexual healing, sexual intimacy, because we do have that moon Venus conjunction opposing Jupiter. So there might be a lot going on. There also might be a lot of emotions that are coming to the surface to be cleared, especially if that moon conjunct South Node, moon square Pluto brought a lot to the surface. But this is a nice kind of cooling balm. The moon, which is generally in tough at like dignity in Scorpio, is an aspect to both benefic planets. So this is really quite nice, especially because before, when we had the South Node in Scorpio, whenever we had the moon in Scorpio, it was not as pleasant. But this weekend, we really get to feel that in a much different way. We also have the moon in aspect to Mercury. On Sunday, the moon is an aspect to Pluto and Neptune. So the weekend is very strong for dream interpretation, healing through your dreams, maybe even getting downloads in your dreams, downloads when you're in your solitude. So please, please, please hear me when I say take this weekend for you. If you feel called to connect with people, great. But you might find, even if you're more social and around a lot of people, you're like, I don't want to be in this energy. I just want to be here for me. Okay. Now, the question of the week comes from, come back. The question of the week comes from Maida Katrinian for 111. Hey, Maida. It feels like the transits this year have been so challenging. ... Curious about your take on this year. So I have been answering this question in a couple of different ways throughout the weeks. And I'm going to keep answering it because I feel like it's something that really needs to be ingrained for us to fully comprehend, for us to move forward with a different mindset, a different energy. Everything is always working out in your favor. Everything is serving a purpose to call you higher. If you are not accepting that, or if you are challenging this belief, it is going to feel so much more difficult. It can kind of come down to a very rudimentary yet fundamental principle, is that you get to choose which character you play, whether you're playing the victim or the hero every single day. And of course, there are other archetypes that one can play, but if you know that even if it's a challenging transit, it's meant to serve a higher purpose, then you will see it as such, and you will be able to alchemize and heal from that experience to go higher. If you feel like the universe is always attacking you, it's out to get you, no one loves you, no one's supporting you, that is going to be your experience because you're playing the role of a victim. Trust me, I get it. It has been extremely challenging for a lot of people. If you want to hear about challenging, go talk to someone who has a lot of Leo energy and see what they experienced over the pandemic, because they had that opposition to Saturn in Aquarius. They had a square to Uranus. They had a square to the South Node in Scorpio. Go talk to a Leo and see what they did. And if you are a Leo, then you probably understand what you went through during 2020, 2021, 2022, the beginning of 2023. It was not easy, but I'm sure the resilience or what you learned during that time was fundamental for your growth. If I'm looking back over this year, of course, major standouts would be that Mars retrograde that was very prominent at the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, that Mars in Gemini retrograde. And of course, we had Venus retrograde in Leo. But if we think of the Venus retrograde, we had Taylor Swift, Beyonce, the Barbie movie. Like, there was so many examples of how powerful women are. There was huge shifts in identity for all of us. And so even for me with that Venus retrograde in Leo, I learned so much about myself, my self-worth, who I am in relationships, right? Venus. So I didn't consider that hard. I felt that very empowering. Yes, there were times where I was going on dates and they were not aligned, but I was able to find my voice so much stronger during that time personally. And even right now, like I shared at the start of this video with that Gemini full moon and going through a lot of crazy health stuff this week on top of a very challenging year, it's almost like because I went through so many challenging things this year with my health, this little bout of food poisoning, I'm like, oh, it's fine. Honestly, because I'm like, my friends were really sweet. They're like, are you okay? How's your stomach? And I'm like, it's fine. Like, I know my body's going to heal. And now I feel fine. Like, it was what, 5-6 days? It wasn't ideal. Yes, I was on holiday. Yes, I'm here with Demetra in Palm Springs, who I love and revere, but it's okay because I learned the tools. I learned how to take care of myself during a year where doctors were saying I was going to die. And I don't mean to belabor a point, but I learned so much during that time. And if you're going through a hard time, it's likely that you're learning the skills that you need to help you along your journey, and furthermore, to help others when they are going through a sensitive spot or a challenging time. Sometimes it's not all about us. It's about being of service, being kind, being generous to the collective, to our community, to others. So do I think some of the transits were challenging this year? Of course. Do I think they're always meant to serve a higher purpose for you and your soul? Always. So remember that it's your mindset, your perspective that is always going to play a part in how these transits manifest for you. So let me know how that resonates. Let me know if you have any astrology questions. I love last week how people are putting them. I'm making a list. Don't you worry. Jupiter and Virgo. And please feel free to share your greatest victories. If you are wanting to take part in the giveaway and donate $50 to any charity of your choice, please feel free to email me at stillwateralchemy@gmail.com or DM Stillwater's IG to have the receipt. I'll enter you into the giveaway. And all services, the one question readings are open. All my one-on-one services are open for the month of December. And if you want to indulge in the beauty elections and prepare yourself best for 2024, let's make it happen. Okay. I'm wishing you all a fabulous, beautiful week ahead. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.